Hey, good morning, Facebook. Happy Monday. What a beautiful day. Happy April 19th. This is week 14 of your free real estate education. It is the second to last week of this program. If it is your day one, that is fantastic. I'm so glad that you are here with us. What a wonderful day one. What a fantastic day one for you to choose here. Today, we have the opportunity of interviewing Jaime Z. Harris, your philanthropic realtor, and she is going to tell us a little bit about how she runs a healthy and balanced business. It's one thing to maintain the illusions of success. It's another thing to live success. It's another thing to give success. And Jaime is such a gift to the real estate industry. I'm really glad to have her on here. What Jaime does is she donates 10% of her commissions to a client of, or to a nonprofit of her client's choosing. Katie and I have just started doing this. We have been inspired by her. What a beautiful statement. And it was one of those things where, Kate and I were 10%. 10% is a lot of money. Are we sure? Yes, we're sure. It's time to dive in and look at this. What a beautiful opportunity. And what a beautiful, look at that, $3,250 given away to charity. That's not something that she has to do. That's something that she has decided to do. And I hope it catches on. I hope it catches on like fire. She is an inspiration to so many. I'm going to bring her on right now. Welcome to the show, my friend, Jaime Z. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad that you were able to make time this morning. A lot of people sort of maintain this image of success and they don't live it. And one thing that I love about you, you've always got that big, beautiful smile on your face. You're constantly spending time with your family. And you are investing, you're living the life, and you're giving back. Can you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Jaime Z, and you hear my dog in the background. He's going to be there for a while. I am a philanthropic realtor, which means I have incorporated philanthropy, which is giving back, as a vital part of what I do. So, like David mentioned in my introduction, 10% of my gross commission, so not net, gross commission, regardless if there's anything given out to pay for referrals or whatever, it's the gross, is given back to a charity of my clients' choosing. I believe that we all have a story, and our stories are very significant. And in life, we should operate from our stories to impact others. So I give my clients that ability to share their stories and also make an impact in the community based on the story. So I have clients who have undergone chemotherapy, sadly, clients who were part of sex trafficking. Like I said, everyone has a tremendous story. Clients who tried to commit suicide, loss of veterans, not the ones committing suicide, but I'm saying lots of veterans I work with because of where we live. So there's like our stories mean so much, and when you give back from your story, it brings it full circle. So we're not just looking at the trees, we're looking at the forest.
I love it. What's so beautiful about what you're doing is there's sort of a tendency amongst real estate agents to control the donation. They were like, oh, I have my nonprofit. And what it really does is it becomes sort of like a tax hub, a way for them to sort of save money and control the money that they're sending out. And of course, there are good things that are done. But what I love that you're doing is you're giving your clients the opportunity to participate in the give. And in that comes their story. And it is so like we did our first check last week. We've got two more scheduled in the next couple of weeks. And Amy is going to do a check. What is it this week, Amy? Have you already picked the charity?
Yes.
They haven't picked the charity yet.
Okay. We're doing the National Institute of Mental Health. We did it for the first one. The second one is CERT Ministries, which combats human trafficking. So it's I just want to thank you because it feels good. And when we were doing our food drive out here, one of the things that I noticed is people would double back the next week. If they got food the first week, they would double back because they wanted to help pass out boxes. They wanted to help. They wanted to be a part of it. And you're giving people the opportunity to give. Your dog's like, why are you guys barking at the screen right now? I feel like I get the bark. So tell me, what was it that inspired you to start doing this?
Okay, so I'm originally from Jamaica, and my dad, he is extremely big on philanthropy. He was an orphan, and at the age of 13, I may have to grab him. Give
Is
me
he a
one
lap
second.
dog?
He's going to be a lap dog right now.
Okay. Okay, so if you're just jumping in right now, Jamie Z is getting ready to tell us why she has decided to give 10% of her commission back to a charity of her client's choosing, and where the inspiration came from that. You were telling me about coming from Jamaica and your dad being very philanthropic.
Right. So my dad was an orphan, and at 13, he had to drop out of school. So he wanted to be a mechanic, and obviously you have to have a degree and have a certain level of education. So he said to God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, if he was given the opportunity to become a mechanic, he would give back to the community. He would make sure that no one in his position, or even less, or maybe even greater, ever went for anything, ever needed anything. So he was aligned with this mechanic guy who trained him. So it was informal training, but trained him until he was around 18. And at 18, he decided to buy out the mechanic shop and took it over because he did really, really well. And he gave back a large portion of everything that he made to the community. He was known as the person that it doesn't matter what you're going through. If you need lunch, if you need money for transportation, go to him. He's going to give it. And he gave so much, like everybody knew him, to the point where he probably gave more to the community than his family. And but it was fine because he always said that we didn't need anything, which was so true. He always said everything that we need is already within us. So we ask for other things, material stuff that we don't need, because we fail to recognize the power that we have within. So we're overcompensating by trying to get so many material things. So we need to focus on the things within. Needless to say, he was just the biggest and brightest light ever. It doesn't matter what room he walked in, the entire room would light up because he was just such a happy person. He didn't need a lot. And I think it was important for how he grew up and recognizing that money doesn't really provide. It's great, it's a great tool, but it doesn't make who you are. And so he didn't hold on to it. He freely gave it away because he knew, and you're starting to see this too, the more you give is the more that the life opens up to you. Life gives you so much more than what you give. So he was just a giver by nature. And so when right before my dad died, I decided I wanted what he had. That just light, that just giving nature of, it doesn't matter what happens in life, you're going to make other people's life so much better, which in turn makes your life better. And so right before he died, I decided to change my my business to one of philanthropy. I wasn't able to tell him. He died the day after I decided, which is okay, because I know he watches over and he looks down and he's very happy. He's very proud. I know that I can feel it. But I, like anything else in life, I mentioned it to a couple of people and they're like, that's ridiculous. Nobody does that. Doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? That's your hard-earned commission. But it was something that it didn't make sense at the time, because when my dad died, I was literally ready to file bankruptcy. So how am I going to be filing bankruptcy and trying to give to the community? That makes no sense. Like, I need charity help. But I decided this is something I'm fully committed to, and I'm going to do this. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Just like everything in life, half of what you do when you're going to do it, it doesn't make sense. If you're going to wait for it to make sense, you'll never end up doing it. So my first check, I had so many bills. So it was very tempting to say, I'm not going to give the 10% because when you look at the 10%, you're thinking, wow, I can do so much with this. But I said, no, I made a commitment. I'm going to give the 10%. And the first was to fallen soldiers, families of fallen soldiers. These are families that have lost their dads. These are people who their entire world was shaken, which basically symbolic for what happened to me. My entire world was shaken. So I gave to the foundation, and I could just see how impactful it was to them. Like the recipients were just like in tears. And I don't think it was so much about the money itself. It's just the heart behind the giving. It meant so much to them, and my clients were blown away. It felt so good to them, and they had never done it before. And now they were telling me they wanted to continue to do this even outside of my giving on their behalf. It meant so much to them. But like after giving the check, to be really honest, I went in my car and I cried because it hurt. Giving 10% hurt at that time. It really did, because I needed them. I'm a single mom. I needed the money to do other things, but I was trusting in the process. So I kept on doing that for I've been doing this since 2016, faithfully, every single check. But the first 6 months of doing it was painful, but I did it every single time. And it's just in a second, everything just switched. It's like the floodgates just opened. Like people out of nowhere who have no affiliation to me, didn't even know what I did. Opportunities just opened out of just like, I'll go to the gas station, for example, and at this time, obviously, I have money to buy gas and everything else, and I go inside to pay, and the person in front says, "Oh, the person in front of you just paid for your gas." Okay, really? I go to the restaurant, and they're like, "Somebody just paid for your meal," and open the mailbox, checks, and you're thinking, "What? This doesn't even make any sense." Like, it's just, I think when you release the clutch from your hands, just like leave it open, because it's open so you can give. The universe or God, whatever you believe in, fills your hands as well. But just seeing all the foundations, like hearing from like the kids, like I give a lot back to like Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Promises to Kids, like kids were twice removed from the from orphanages, and just hearing from them and how impactful it is on their lives, and how much hope they have for the future, knowing that somebody who they don't know, families they don't know, are just caring so much. That's the gift of continuously giving. Just hearing from those people, just seeing that life can't just be about yourself. There has to be a greater purpose, and the more you give, the more you're going to receive. Not that you're going to start giving just so you can start getting, because there's a lot of heart behind it that makes everything open up for you to receive. So I'm addicted to this. This is my life. This is my purpose. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The 10%. Now I'm very happy that I've come a long way where it doesn't hurt anymore. But I think I had to start where I started. And so for people out there who are listening and they're thinking, well, I'm going to start giving once I succeed, or once I make a lot of money, or once I'm successful. you don't have to wait. Like the people who are in need right now are in need right now. Start where you are, even if it's $1 or $10. It's the heart behind it. Yes, they do need the money, but the heart behind it means a lot too. And God, the universe, whatever you believe, will open up ways for you to never ever want or need anything in life.
God, that's it's 17 minutes into my Monday. You had me crying like three different times. That I'll tell you, Jamie. I'm at the beginning stages of sort of like it's starting to come in, right? So, and when that first check hit, Kate and I were calling people, hey, listen, you better cash your check now because freaking it's going to go away, right? And um, and then having a couple more coming in, and then getting, and I'm from a place where we're rebuilding. You know what I mean? Having two listings hitting on Friday in one day was a big deal, and then having another friend call and then be able to give them genuine advice that told them, hey, listen, hold on to your house. Don't sell it right now. You don't need to, right? That's a place for
Right.
you and your family. And then not having that commission breath of being able to give from a place of service. Finally, and most importantly, the way that you talked about your dad was so beautiful because I would love for my kids to think about me like that. And that you talked about him being such a light, and I think that you're a light. You're you have started spreading that light, and it's important to give, even at the
Mhm.
expense of yourself sometimes, because
Right.
it does start to come back. I have the giving tree tattooed on my arm. You know what I mean? Like
Ah,
it's a foundation of my life. It's always been that way, and I believe that it's when you go out to breakfast with a poor friend, they always offer to pick up breakfast. When you go out to breakfast with a rich friend, they say, let's split the tab. Oh, actually, you got the soda. I just got water. So let's make sure that ends up on your thing. And it's very interesting the way that it switches. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful. And even if it does, and this is what I talked about with Kate, even if it didn't come back abundantly, we got a chance to give. What a beautiful thing, right? Um,
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about because this is of course is a healthy and balanced business, right? So you have this part of your you lead with your heart and you lead with the give, right? And that's part
Mhm.
of our it's give, give, then ask. Um, love her inspiration and her dog.
Thank you.
um, there is a you start with the give, but of course, then you start doing important and intelligent things with your money. Um, can you tell me a little bit about uh, your Bear Marley cabin and the things that you're doing and how you're now using this education to create some wealth and some good opportunities for you and your family?
Okay, so I have a cabin in Big Bear that I use for my clients as well. So my clients, again, my clients get to use my cabin for free because they're my cabins. They're my clients for life. In addition to my clients using it, I also Airbnb my cabin. Big Bear is a really great place to own. You've been a couple times with your kids, so you know it's definitely a place where you can reset. It doesn't matter what was going on in your life when you're in Big Bear. Nothing matters. Um, you leave everything down the hill. It's such it's just full of positive good energy. I think because you're in nature, it just restores you, and that's what I offer to my clients too. I have it on Airbnb, and with the Airbnb, like I said, Big Bear is, if you don't own there, or you're thinking of somewhere to invest your money, Big Bear definitely is the place. They are tightening down on the Airbnb rules, but like my cabin is a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 660 square feet. It's relatively small. Everything about it is very intentional to keep the vibe very high, very neutral. I paid 238 for it like 2 years ago, and so my mortgage is around 1250. I can tell you this because I'm very open about a lot of things. It's 1250, and with my Airbnb, even with clients going there for free, I normally make around like anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 a month. So you can see the ROI.
Wow.
That's insane. That's insane. So it pays for obviously the mortgage, it pays for mortgage down here in San Diego. Um, and it also just provides that healthy, balanced getaway that you need to reset very often.
I love the way that you're using it and that you're subleasing it out and giving other people that same experience. Kate and I have been looking at properties in Big Bear. The money is starting to come in and more
Mhm.
consistently. Things have really started to take a turn, just like you said, all at once. And now we're meeting with the financial planners and we're sort of planning on abundance. And Zach just bought. He's in escrow right now for a cabin up in Big Bear,
I
and
saw
uh,
that.
and so I'm really happy for Zach. And there are a lot of people around me. This young man right here is, getting pre-approved to buy a house. How old are you, Lika?
Oh,
21 years old, and
oh,
he
doing.
is now looking at investing in real estate himself. So there's a lot of really beautiful things happening around me. I'm really grateful for them. And I love that what you're doing is you're so abundant with your information. You're like, no, this is what's going on. And so we spend a lot of time up in Big Bear and up in Arrow Bear, and
Mhm.
we're starting to experience Lake Arrowhead. But I love that you're putting your property to work for you while not getting lost in it,
Right.
not getting ugly about it. So, do you have any other properties other than the Big Bear cabin?
Um, I had properties, I had about 12 properties before my dad passed away and life happened, divorce happened. So as you can imagine, I had to
Heard
get
that.
rid of the things. Um, so in life, don't be scared of starting over. Life is all about starting over at different points in your life. Remember, I said in 2016, I was on the brink of bankruptcy. Remember, and
Yes, and
my first
that's not
couple,
that long ago.
right, my first couple checks for the first 6 months, I would go in my car and cry. So from that to now, owning owning a cabin in Big Bear, a very successful cabin there, and buying my a house recently, which is my dream house, ultimate my complete dream house. Um, I don't think any of that would have happened if I wasn't a giver.
I think that the surrender is so important, right? Just sort of that, like, I surrender, and like that was such a moment, I think, probably for you. And then going into the car and crying, like surrendering, being a vessel for higher consciousness to bring about more light into this world. And, in 5 years, what a beautiful thing that you've been able to do. And plus, you're able to use it with your family.
Right,
You and your kids are able to go up there. And,
right. My son and my dog, we are usually there every other weekend. Or now we go mostly in the week because it's so busy in the weekend. But we love it up there, and we're planning to buy elsewhere. The next one is probably Mammoth. We're just looking like I definitely believe in real estate, building wealth through real estate, and I encourage other people to do the same as well.
awesome. And you're also doing another. You're kind of in a lot of ways. You're my wife's idol in some ways. You know what I mean? She goes, oh my gosh, she's getting her pilot's license. My wife wants to get her pilot's license, and she's been talking to me about getting. I'm like, you do all the stuff that you want up there in the air. I'm going to stay on the ground. My feet are barely on planet Earth as it is. But
We
so,
figured it out.
are you enjoying getting up there in the air?
Well, my friend's a pilot, and I'm trying to figure out the whole helicopter thing. So we'll see. We'll see. My son is not thrilled about it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
would
he's
make
not
me very nervous.
right. So we'll
So,
see.
so you've had, so in 5 years, you're giving back, and I looked at how much money you gave back, and then I was like, that's 10%. She had a hell of a year last year, so good for you, Jamie Z. You're clearly doing a little bit better than breaking even at this point. Living as present as you do, and without having this huge eye on the future, right? And that's kind of what I pick up from you. How do you keep yourself motivated and goal set while remaining present?
Okay. Um, so I'm going to share my morning routine with you.
That would be
Okay.
awesome.
So when you give back in any capacity, you need to make sure you do stuff for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to end up being really drained, frustrated, and that leaves room for depression, anger, bitterness. So you have to make sure you put yourself as a priority. So if anyone follows me on Facebook, you probably see that I'm typically up around 4:45. I have the 5 a.m. club post. That's the 5 a.m. club post is not so much for Facebook. It's actually for me to keep myself accountable. I'm up at 4:45 every single morning, Monday to Sunday. Uh, I usually do a 5 a.m. club call. That's just, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, where you dial in to the 5 a.m. club number, and there's a 5 minute inspirational talk given by different people all over the world. I can send that link after if anyone's interested in that. But it's very, very powerful. A lot of entrepreneurs, powerhouses, they're on those calls and they're talking and they're just sharing openly about things that they've overcome, basically giving you that 5 minute boost in the morning. I do that, and then I post just a 5 a.m. Post. It's a meme, and it's usually either funny, inspirational, or thought provoking. Um, After that, I walk my dog for about 30 minutes, and I try to be extremely present in my walk, meaning the only thing I'm thinking about on my walk is walking my dog, nothing else. It took a while to get to that point where the only thing on my mind was my dog and the walk. It probably took me 3 months to get to 1 minute of doing that. But I started this, remember, years ago. So it's not like I can just say, oh, yeah, start walking your dog and being completely present, because our minds wander so much. So you have to intentionally program yourself to be able to have no thought, just be completely focused and present on just exactly what you're doing. So I just have that 30 minute where I'm just looking at the stars. It's so early in the morning, I'm just walking my dog, and that's it. Nothing else on my mind. Then I feed him, and I watered plants. I think plants are just really important for you to be grounded. So it's usually something earth based what I'm doing during that time. Then which is so important. I love doing this. My gratitude journal. It is really important for you to focus on the things that are going good in your life and the things that you're grateful for, because at any moment, I think COVID taught us that too. At any moment, things can change. So you have to recognize that you really have a good life. No matter how hard you may think it is, if you sit down to just focus on 10 good things in your life, you're going to see how quickly your health, your mental health especially, changes, because now you're focused on the positive things that are going on in your life versus maybe the one or two negative things that is overtaking you. So my gratitude journal is really important. That's every single morning. Then I do my chores. I'll get ready for the day, I'll make breakfast, and then I'll spend time with my son. Um, but if you notice, before I even incorporated my son, I did a lot of time with myself. It's really important to give yourself that care and that time, because you're very important. You deserve that. You have to give yourself time before you can pour into anyone else. People always say, "Oh, I'm pouring from an empty cup." I'm so like by noon they're frustrated, they're tired, and they're snapping at every single person because you haven't spent the time to pour into your own cup. Like I don't even pour from a full cup. I pour from my overfill. So I make sure by 8 o'clock my cup is overflowing. So what you're getting is actually the overfill. So at the end of the day, my cup is still full. That's just how I see it, and that's helpful for me to have a healthier and more balanced life. And I can tell you the difference when I don't do that, when I don't do my morning routine. By 11 o'clock, I have to pull over wherever I am and write in my gratitude journal because I'm just frustrated. Um, like people will say stuff and I'm like, why am I getting irritated? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I didn't spend the time with me in the morning. I didn't spend the time to fill my cup. So now when I do my morning routine, it doesn't matter what somebody says. You're like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get to it. Small things don't irritate you. Not even big things irritate you because you're just like, I'm solution oriented. I'm already full. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And that one of the first time that I saw you speak at that women's empowerment session that we had,
Mhm.
you talked about giving from a place of an overflowing cup, giving from your saucer, and I thought that that was so impactful because I tend to go to do the empty cup thing and give from a place of scraps. And what I've found is that, especially being on the autism spectrum, I have to consciously take time to refill my cup after about 4 hours of peopling. Otherwise, I just get lost. So, like for me, and it actually, I said to you at one point, I said, "Hey, you want to get lunch or something?" You said, "I eat by myself," and it was a reminder to me at that point that I don't like eating with other people. So, like, I will take my food and I will go sit in my office, or I'll take my food and I'll go home because if I end up eating around other people, I don't eat. I
Right.
don't concentrate on my food. I don't reset, and I end up being in a situation to where like I'll sit there for 30 minutes with the food in front of me just getting cold because it I can't think and eat at the same time. I just got to give myself that time. So I admire you for that. I definitely picked up on that advice. Um, are there any questions, Em? Any questions, Lika? Any questions in the Zoom? I want to make sure that I don't just monologue and neglect everybody else here. Okay, I've got all these different platforms up and running. Okay, all right, cool. Um, Jamie Z,
Mhm.
I don't want to take a whole bunch of your Monday because I feel like I've got a lot of really valuable and beautiful information, and I feel like if we over talk, people will miss out on so much of that beautiful stuff at the beginning. Um, where do people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Jamie Z Harris, on Instagram, Jamie Z Harris. I'm on LinkedIn, but I prefer if you just went through Facebook or Instagram. I typically respond to everyone within at least 10 to 15 minutes. If I'm obviously showing or busy, then I'll tell you when I'll respond to you. So I'll always respond and say, hey, I'll get back to you within an hour or 2 hours. I'm an open book. I love to share my entire business. I'll share everything with you. I 100% believe that life is set up for us to all win. So we're not competing against each other. If we show up as our most authentic self, we are going to win. We're 100% going to win.
And the more authentic that we are, the more it empowers other people to step into their own authenticity.
Right.
And so, what a beautiful thing. So, the social webpage is Jamie Z. Harris, philanthropic realtor. And so, you're not on Insta and TikTok and what are all the other things? Twitter.
Baby baby steps, baby steps.
You know,
I try to keep my life as simple as possible.
Right. Kate and I have been talking about this too because there's sort of a push, right, to get on all of the different platforms. But I'm like, I don't know. I enjoy Facebook, and anything much more than that, I think it would just be maybe a little overbearing. Um,
I'm pretty sure others can manage all those platforms. And I've been invited to everything and told I should do this, and probably I should, but the reality is I just need to be true to myself. And I'm happy with Facebook and Instagram. I don't even know how to use Instagram, to be honest. Um, but my focus is elsewhere. My focus is on the things that I can control, which is giving back, being a good mom, just being a good human being. All the other stuff, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else is out there, someone else will have to do that.
that's why this is healthy and balanced business and not a different class. Like you really, the niches, or the riches are in the niches, and of course, the more you niche down, the more you're about community, the more you're about everything that's around real estate, the more that you'll find that there's real estate to always be bought and sold. I appreciate your time a great deal, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Always, always glad to see you and just be in your presence.
I appreciate you, Jamie Z. Have a beautiful rest of your Monday, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. What a fantastic class. What a gift. Feel free, guys, if you have any questions, to post away. I will get this sent to YouTube, of course. We just had a beautiful conversation with Jamie Z. Harris about having a healthy and balanced business, why she gives back, what she was inspired to do, who inspired her to do it, and what the climb has been like for her. And what a beautiful journey. What a beautiful person. Happy Monday. Have a great day, everybody. I'll stick around for a moment in the Zoom to see if anybody has any questions for me. Get after your day, get after your week, get after your life. The Zen principle of a lifetime in a day, right? All of these things that we want to do someday, all of the versions of ourselves that we want to be. Why are we not doing it today? Why are we not being it today? Have a great day, everyone.